And that was when my parents' faces turned white as snow. And then my dad grabbed his car keys and my mom started dialing the police. Soon, I knew everything about what was really going on. And I had to give the police a statement, of course. Knowing that I was nearly kidnapped and that my friends were gone, I was a complete wreck. Once the police got their information, they tried to console me and tell me it wasn't my fault in any way, and that was when I heard their radios go off. Car 3, suspect inbound to your location on foot. He appears to be armed and dangerous. Do you copy? This is Car 3. We copy. The officer looked me in the eyes and smiled. Don't worry, kid, we'll get this guy. He turned to his partner, Stevens, stay with the kid. I'm going to cut this son of a bitch off before he can get away. The other officer, Stevens, he was an absolute saint. When all this was going down, he did his damnedest to keep me calm. Stayed with us that night for security, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. The next morning, my dad came home exhausted and peeled off his dirty size 12s before crashing in his favorite chair. He and the other men of the neighborhood went out looking for Mr. Smith. They cornered him in one of the old abandoned manor houses and he wound up shooting himself too. Avoid capture. That's the only consolation I get, knowing that if there's a hell, that fucker is rotting there. Now you're probably wondering what happened to Adam. Timmy and Jared, well, I'm pretty sure you could guess already, but yeah, they're all dead. Jared survived Mr. Smith, but 3 years later he put a 12-gauge slug through the roof of his mouth. The things he told me about that night, what he, Adam and Timmy went through. They'll haunt me till the day I die. A couple of you more morbid fucks out there probably want some of the details out of some dark curiosity. Well, I may as well tell you the worst thing Jared told me they went through. Before that fucking monster cut Adam and Timmy up like animals. Once he was done using them, he took out his little black bag and started experimenting. Did you know that? The human heart can beat for a solid 3 or 5 minutes after being removed from the body. Not like you would see in the movies. But atrial and ventricular fibrillations continue for quite a bit after removal. Oh, you didn't. Of course, you didn't, and neither did Adam. But he found out 30 minutes after meeting Mr. Smith. I bet you also didn't know that the lungs cannot function if they are exposed to open air. Or maybe you did, but Timmy sure as fuck didn't. And he definitely didn't deserve to go out like that. I'm 23 now, and after years of therapy and support, I have a beautiful wife and a child on the way once my little Teresa's born. I'm not going to let her out of my sight for a second, let alone let her go trick-or-treating. I refuse to let anything remotely like that happen to my little girl, so I'll just buy her a big bag of candy every year to keep her happy. There is one thing that continues to bother me, though. Before he killed himself, Jared said Mr. Smith didn't have a gun on him. Never had one, in fact. He did have several scalpels and medical instruments, but no firearm of any kind. The autopsy report showed Mr. Smith died after receiving a single .45 round to the side of the head from where he shot himself, it seems. What that doesn't explain is why Mr. Smith's autopsy also turned up several ruptured organs and fractures consistent with what would happen if a size 12 combat boot were to have repeatedly stomped his chest, neck, and pelvis. And why nobody outside of our little town knows about what happened that Halloween night, I guess some questions are better off unanswered.